What is going on, Jaguars fans? Welcome back into the fan cave. We've got another awesome video coming to you guys. I got my man JerseyJaguar here. We're going to kind of do a quick offseason breakdown, what's happened in the draft, what's happened post-draft, just an overall look at what has happened thus far. What's going on, man?
Just living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Hey, absolutely.
Yep.
Any day we're talking about Jaguars football, that is a good day in my opinion.
That's why we're here.
Hey, absolutely. So I want to start off. Trayvon Walker was someone that had a lot of oohs and a lot of boos to go along with it. It was a controversial pick. What do you think of it?
Well, so for the longest time, I did not want to believe that Trayvon Walker was the pick. I thought, you know what? Surely Trent Baalke, who is on a short leash, is not going to risk his career by taking a boom or bust player. He's going to take Evan Neal or Aiden Hutchinson, and that's just how it's going to be. But it wasn't until the few days leading up to it, the nerves and the, oh my God, he's really going to do this, settled in. And then I was in complete denial up until the moment Roger Goodell went up and said it. It took me a while, but like every other thing that the Jaguars do that disappoint me, I eventually talk myself into it. Like you see on Twitter, like the videos of him tearing up the dummies in training camp, and he looks fantastic in shorts and a t-shirt. And Aiden Hutchinson, people are saying, oh, he looks like skinny compared to Trayvon Walker. And I mean, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, wait till preseason, wait till week 1 against the Commanders. Like, I am taking a complete, like, prove it to me approach with Trayvon Walker. Now, the other first round pick, I'm sure we'll get into Devin Lloyd, all about that. But Trayvon Walker, listen, I hope he's the next Aaron Donald.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I hope that, like, as much as I talk bad about Trent Baalke on my channel, I want to be wrong about Trent Baalke. I want Trayvon Walker. I want to be sitting here in December and I want to be laughing at everyone, including myself, who said that Trent Baalke was an idiot for reaching for Trayvon Walker when he's tearing it up and the Jaguars, front seven is more dominant than it's been since 2017 because of him. And I want that. Am I totally convinced that that's the case with him? No. It's a wait and see thing. Rooting for him. Hope it pans out. Dude has a ton of potential. And I think at minimum, if nothing else, he will for sure help in the run game. Again, with the run defense. But with the first overall pick, I want them double-digit sacks. I want the strip sacks. I need high impact. I need splash plays. I need a reason. I mean, stuffing a run on 3rd and 1 is nice and all, but, I want 1st and 10 to turn into 2nd and 16.
Absolutely.
Because those are.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say those are drive killers,
Absolutely, yeah. Do you see him as a hand in the dirt lineman, or do you see him as an outside linebacker opposite to Josh Allen?
I mean, from what I hear, he can do it all. I mean, he played all over the Georgia defensive line. I mean, like, I think Von Miller is technically labeled as an outside linebacker. But when you think of Von Miller or even like a Khalil Mack, what do you think of?
A pass all the way.
Yeah. So if he can do that, cool. I mean, just another guy who can play linebacker for the Jaguars, I guess.
Just the run on linebackers they had. When you look at it on paper, they went linebacker, center, linebacker with the first 4 picks. And I don't think anyone that was doing any sort of mock draft had 3 of the 4 picks going linebacker.
No, but I tell you, man, like the way that the draft went, like no Jaguar fan would have predicted that. But I think that honestly, like so in my personal opinion, I think that in their mind, the Jaguars brass, they believe that on the offensive side of the ball, Trevor Lawrence's development from year 1 to year 2, just because we have Doug Marrone, is enough of a boost for the offense that they felt like they could focus the draft on the defense.
Absolutely. I it was weird because they definitely took an offensive approach to free agency with Ingram, Zay Jones, Sheriff, all of them, and Kirk as well. And then, I felt weird because, when I was watching the draft and it went 3 of the first 4 linebacker and 6 of the 7 or 5 of the 7 going defense out of the 7 they took.
Yeah.
It felt weird saying, why did they go so defensive heavy when I had to I wasn't until I did a draft recap video, I took a step back and went, oh, well, yeah, it makes sense because they just, outside of Fatukasi and Oluwakin, they really didn't do anything to address defense at all within the first couple of days of the free agency. Obviously, Arden Key and Darius Williams came in later, but those first couple of days, it was really just Fatukasi and Oluwakin. So
yeah,
I could not be more excited to see what the front 7 looks like. I think when you have that amount of turnover, oh my goodness, you have a guy that's 7th all time in the league with single season tackles. That's when I saw that, it blew me away. He's up there with huge names, Oluwakin is, and I think he's really getting overshadowed just by all with the 3 draft picks. I think even Muma right now is overshadowing him. And
I love the Chad Muma pick when it happened. I thought that was great.
70th. I mean, a guy that should have probably gone somewhere in the 2nd round falls all the way to 70. I can't.
Oh yeah.
I can't not upset with that.
I think people so easily forget how bad our defense has been.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think people forget that you go back and you look at the Rams game, you say, okay, well, the Rams, obviously they won the Super Bowl. Of course, they're going to, smash us into oblivion. But before Trevor completed a pass or even attempted a pass, the Jaguars were down 10-0 in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And the San Francisco game, it was the same thing because they took up that whole first quarter. They got the field goal, and Trevor's first pass was that screen to Visca that he fumbled, and then they just went right. So the defense, it's defense sucks. But even if you were completely hoping for an offensive revamp, if you were someone who wanted Evan Neal, and then for them to do what the Lions did and trade up to go get Jameson Williams, which I would have been all about that.
Absolutely.
You have to at least be satisfied with the fact that this Jaguars front 7 is completely revamped.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely there's no way, unless we just get hit with the plague, that we're not better than we've been since 2018.
Yeah,
because the defense was still pretty good in 2018.
It was, yeah, it absolutely was.
So I mean, this will be the best front 7 that we've had in years. And then if Doug Peterson does the smart thing and actually lets Andre Cisco on the field, with the addition of Darius Williams and the continued growth of Tyson Campbell, there is no reason to believe that the Jaguars defense can't be at least average. At least average, because we have been putrid the last several years. There's no reason to believe we can't be floating in that 16 to 12 range at least. And in the AFC where the Jaguars play, and there's my cat's making a little appearance. She's been doing that in my videos lately. She likes to talk about the Jaguars too.
Hey, absolutely.
In the AFC, where it's just a slew of elite quarterbacks, Trevor can put up 40 points. Sure, you can focus on offense, but the defense giving up 45, you're still going to lose every time. So I hate to say it, but I approve of what Trent Baalke did in the draft for the most part.
When do Jaguar fans owe Trent Baalke an apology? What else does he have to do? Because 2021's draft looks good. Walker Little's going to contend for a starting spot. Tyson Campbell has a starting spot. ETN, we're going to see what he has. Obviously, everyone's expecting Lawrence to be good. And then from what it looks like, he knocked the first 4 picks out of the park. So, I mean, that's 8 picks right there that could be very good players for the Jaguars. When you talk about 22 starting players in 2 years, adding 8 great players, you can't not turn your head away at that. You got to give the man props whenever he's due them.
It depends a lot on Trayvon Walker.
I agree.
It depends a lot on Trayvon Walker, and I will give him this. The safe pick would have been Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
He could have easily done that, traded back in, got Devin Lloyd, because I think Devin Lloyd, I think he will be a stud for years for us. I am so excited about him. So he could have done that, done the safe thing, but he has so much conviction about what he believes that Trayvon Walker will be better, at least has better upside, that he was willing to bet that. And also the one thing that does kind of scare me about that is, like, has Shad Khan already gone to him and said, hey, this isn't your last year?
Yeah.
Because if he hasn't said that, that takes some serious guts. Yeah. Because every draft there is that defensive lineman that, well, he could be Aaron Donald or he could be out of the league in 4 years.
Exactly.
And that guy's Trayvon Walker for this draft.
Oh, absolutely.
And to take that risk with the first pick, I mean, that's a big move. That's a gutsy call. But if Trayvon Walker works out and the Jaguars win 7-8 games this year, I think a lot of pressure can be alleviated. But then again, the cynic inside of you can say, well, how much of that's Doug Peterson?
Oh, I think for me, if they go out there and, week 15 rolls around and I see them in the hunt on an ESPN graphic, I might be making a Trent apology video.
I mean, well, and it does go along with, it was Andre Sisco on the field, and is what we saw from him last December. Do we see that all year? Yep. Okay. Does Tyson Campbell's development, does that continue on all throughout next year? Then okay. Is Walker Little good enough to where he can beat out Jawan Taylor, or he has come out and said he'll play any position? So the best case scenario for the Jags would be for Doug Peterson to coach up or get the best out of Jawan Taylor to where has the best camp of his life, the best preseason, and Jawan Taylor is a legitimate right tackle for us. We can plug in Walker Little at that left guard, because right now I have no idea who's playing left guard for us. It could be anybody.
I've got Bart slammed into that spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, for me, I would imagine that Luke Fortner will probably play center. But then, I've had the thought of, like, well, if for whatever reason they feel more comfortable with Shadley, then they put Fortner over to the left guard. But I think Fortner probably has the edge to start, and Shadley will just stay in, like, backup center purgatory forever. And if that's the case, then it's more than likely Ben Barch. If not, don't forget Will Richardson's played guard for us a little bit in the past too. Not that I prefer that, but he does have experience there.
Yeah, I think on a previous video I was talking about the offensive line, and I mentioned that on Jaguars.com right now they have Cam Robinson left tackle, Barch at right guard or left guard, Fortner, Sheriff, and then Jawan Taylor as their starting five from left to right.
Oh, do they really? Yep. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's who they have penciled in right now on their depth chart on ESPN. So who knows if that's anything valid? I don't, if it's just some intern punching in names onto a depth chart.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, my one comment about that is, I think if Walker Little isn't on the field in some way, shape, or form, then that's a problem.
That's a bad pick.
Because essentially you gave away Unique Ngakoue for him. You spent a mid-second round pick, and he showed enough last year to where in some way, shape, or form you got to get him on the field. And Jawan Taylor has not earned the right to walk into camp as the presumed starter, in my opinion. So we'll see. Preseason will be fun to see who Doug has lined up. Well, I was going to say against the Raiders, but honestly, no one even plays in that game.
I'm
So I
honestly
think,
excited for that game, though. I'm excited to just see what
oh, I am too.
that team
Yeah.
looks like. You know, what is
Yeah.
a team that is filled of nothing but, bottom half of the roster guys going against bottom half? Like, is it going to look like an USFL game where they just have NFL jerseys on and EJ Perry's out there throwing just wild passes? Because I
Pretty much.
honestly, I would kind of enjoy that. Just watching,
But
Jeff Cotton and Zay Jones out there as the 1 and 2 wide receivers with EJ Perry.
you know what? The Jaguars are on Sunday Night Football, and that's all I care about.
I'm going to be at the game, so I couldn't be more
Oh,
excited.
really? Are you?
Yeah,
That's
my
cool.
dad and I are going up to Canton, so I'm super excited about that.
Are you going to be like there for Tony's induction and everything?
Yeah, we're going for the full weekend, Thursday to I think Saturday, then we're flying back on Sunday.
Oh, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. I'm jealous.
Oh,
Yeah, that's awesome.
because I was thinking about it because I'm trying to see the Jags playing every single stadium, and it crossed my mind that I've never seen them. I'm gonna have to go to Canton. I'm gonna have to go to London, and because I was aware of the London game, but it totally spaced my mind that I'm gonna have to see them play in Canton because that's an NFL stadium. As weird as that little high school stadium that they played the Hall of Fame game in, but yeah, it's super cool because you never get when are we going to get the opportunity again? Hopefully whenever Fred goes in.
Yeah, well, I would say never, because when Fred goes in, they're going to be like, yeah, the Jaguars had that. We're going to put someone else.
Yeah, who wants to watch the Jaguars play?
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Yeah. When do you think speaking on that, I was watching NFL Network, I think a couple days ago, and they were talking about should the NFL go to a lottery system where they were, good teams have the opportunity to get high-level draft picks. And one of them made the comment that you should reward, say the Bengals, they should be awarded the number 2 pick in the draft because they made it that far. And then one of them made the comment, if that happened, Jacksonville wouldn't ever have a team. When do you think the comments like that stop? It was a funny comment, but it was just like, damn, I'm tired of being the butt of people's jokes. Because if you watch NFL Network, especially Good Morning Football, it's like every hour there's a Jaguars joke. And it's just like, good Lord, you guys have any other team you can pick on?
Yeah, no, I hate that idea. I mean, can you imagine like a team like the Chiefs having a chance to grab like an Evan Neal or Jameson Williams in this draft? I mean, that's just not fair. Like, that's not even fair.
Imagine Patrick Mahomes with Jamar Chase.
Yeah, there you go. Like, that's just
absurd.
Stupid. Stupid. When does it stop? Well, if the football gods have any kind of grace on us, Doug Peterson will make that stop. I don't know. It's an excellent question, man. I mean, without coaching a game, like, Doug Peterson is probably the 3rd best coach in our team's history. I'd put Coughlin and then Del Rio, and then only, because he's won the Super Bowl, I'll put him 3rd. But honestly, I mean, I'd love to say 2-3 years from now he's number 1. I would hope, because I think, he's the kind of guy that could turn this organization around. It's kind of weird to say, like, it's probably the best decision that Shad Khan has ever made for this organization, and he kind of did it by accident.
Yeah.
He did it out of his own incompetence.
Exactly.
Which is just mind-blowing. And then, like, when people really know what's going on, like, if people on the outside really knew the kind of stuff that we knew about what goes on with this organization, you'd say, oh, well, that's why they've won like 50 games over the last decade.
Yeah.
That's why.
Exactly.
Oh, because, wait, their owner did what? Shad Khan said what? Oh, well, that's why they are what they are.
Yep.
And it starts at the top. And I think outside of Doug Marrone, the smartest person in our organization is more concerned about AEW than the Jaguars.
I do think I think Tony was pushed out in part because of Dave and Tom. I've heard that rumor that they basically told him, go play with your analytics in the corner. We're going to do it our way, and you can get bent. And so Tony was just like, the hell with you guys. I'm the son of a billionaire. I practically am a billionaire. I'm not going to get pushed around by some has-beens. and
Oh,
went and built
I
AEW.
think if he was our GM, we'd be so much better.
Oh my goodness, we'd be.
I think Tony Khan would be an incredible GM for us.
He would be.
But oh well, we can dream.
We can
It's all on you, Doug Peterson. Save us.
I feel bad because last year I was saying in Urban we trust, and now I feel like I'm just a broken record of saying now in Doug we trust, because it's just we have no trust in Trent to be able to do anything until he proves he can do it.
Right.
The past two guys we've come in have had championship rings on their fingers. Yeah. We're on championship ring guy number 2 now. So let's hope number 2 is a hell of a lot better than number 1. We're off to a good start. At least he knows the players' names. You know,
he knows who Aaron Donald is.
He knows who Aaron Donald is. He knows Joe Mixon probably doesn't play for the Houston Texans. It's the little things in life, I guess. We have to. The bar is so low that he's even mentioning it in press conferences. Like, you know, people are talking about Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban going at each other. I feel like you can't go to Doug Peterson press conferences without hearing some subtle dig at Urban Meyer about how he's completely trashed the organization. And
I think players still talk about him.
Oh, I'm sure
it probably took 1 or 2 meetings from Doug Peterson for all the players in our organization to be like, what a difference.
Yeah.
Like, and they're probably saying to the rookies, like, you guys are so lucky that you're here this year and not last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a total joke. But, and again, that falls on Shad Khan, because like how much in depth did you get in your interview with the guy? Like how could you not tell that he clearly didn't know what he was talking about? Like, I mean, listen, as a fan, I can sit back and say, oh, Urban Meyer, he's won all these championship games. He's highly regarded. You know, he's from Florida. So the fans that live in Florida will love him. I'm all for it. Let's go. Him and Trevor Lawrence. That sounds awesome. But I'm not the billionaire writing the check.
Nope.
I don't own an NFL franchise. Like, and I think that, again, I mentioned it earlier, like, Doug Peterson is the best thing that Shad Khan's ever done for this organization. He did it by accident.
Yep.
But hopefully this is a happy accident. And it's the happy accident that gives us any kind of hope, you know? Today, like, in my boredom throughout my day, I don't know why I did this. I went back and I watched the highlights from 2018, the game against the Jets. It was when we started off 3-1, coming off our good season.
Yep.
And, like, that stadium is, like, on fire.
Yeah.
That stadium is just elated with everything we did. And, like, I'm sitting there watching it, man, and I'm just like, take me back to that, dude. Like, you know, like, I don't even, 2017 doesn't have to be every year. I'm easy to please. I'm just so tired. I am so tired of the 20, 30-point blowouts.
Yep.
That put me in a mood for 2 or 3 days at a time.
Yep.
I'm so sick and tired of winning, you know, a handful of games a year, and one of them is, you know, maybe a Thursday night at home against Houston or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so tired of the, like, I was gonna say mediocrity. I wish we were mediocre.
Yeah, we're not even flirting with mediocrity.
Like, to be in the hunt, to be competing with Tennessee and Indianapolis for the division, even if we're like, so like in what year was that? 2019, by the bye week, we were 4-5. Give me that. Give me that.
Yeah.
Give me like, we're at least competing.
Exactly.
Like, teams have to legitimately game plan for us. You know, and that's what I think, honestly, what fans expected last year with Urban Meyer. I think we are almost, barring horrible injuries, I think we are almost guaranteed to get that with Doug Murray. I almost said Doug Murray. With Doug Peterson this year. I don't think you'll see as many of the 20-point blowouts. as we have. Yeah. I mean, when we go to Kansas City, I mean, it'll probably happen there.
In that game.
Yeah, that'll probably happen there, but only because, I mean, they're going to London against Denver, coming home against the Raiders, and then they're going to Kansas City.
Yeah, and then that's the Cowboys like 2 games later.
Yeah, after the bye week.
Oh, and the Ravens. So they have 2 MVPs, I think, back to back.
Yeah. But whatever. Just, I mean, I think those blowout games will be significantly cut back. You don't have to win every game. Keep me sitting here in the fourth quarter invested. That's all I asked for. It's not that high a bar over here. Okay. Keep me invested in the fourth quarter. Win one out of every couple. Keep me invested. And then 2 years from now, after Derrick Henry has finally fallen off the cliff and Malik Willis is the Titans starting quarterback, okay, and Matt Ryan is probably off on another team and the Colts are still looking for another quarterback. When the division is that weak and you're under year 2 of Doug Peterson, then, okay, go get the AFC South.
Yeah.
Go get that home playoff game. Give me a reason to buy a plane ticket and fly to a Jaguars home game for a playoff game. Please go do that. Don't expect it this year, but I think because of Urban Meyer, everything that Jaguar fans expected with Trevor Lawrence was pushed back a year. But, as Jaguar fans, we're used to that, forever rebuilding.
Forever.
But I do truly believe that Doug Peterson absolutely can turn us around.
How many wins do you see before the bye, which is what, week 14, I think it is, week 11 bye, and then after the bye? So week 11, how many wins do you think they have? And then through week 18, how many wins do you think they end up with?
I mean, honestly, if they're 4-6, I'd be happy.
I could not change anything because I'm looking at my season prediction right now, and right as you said 4-6, I was looking at 4-6. So I'm spot on.
If it's 4-6 and 4 of the 6 games are by 1 possession or less that came down in the fourth quarter, where it was like, man, if the ball bounced this way or maybe a freak play happened, whatever, or maybe, I don't know, Cam Robinson's hurt a game, so Trevor struggled a lot under pressure because of the one, whatever it is. I can live with that. I can live with that. But if it's like 4-6 and like 5 of them were like just complete butt whoopings, then I can't deal with that.
I'm excited to see what through week 2 looks like, because you have the Commanders. I think that's a winnable game. I see no reason.
It's definitely winnable.
And then right after that game, you go right into the Colts at home. I mean, it doesn't seem unreasonable to say this team could start 2-0, which is a weird thing to say when you're talking about a team that's won 4 games in the past 2 years. But my God,
wouldn't that be the story of the NFL?
From nothing to being 2-0 and, rapidly climbing through power rankings as Jim Irsay continues to cry into whatever new alcoholic beverage he had.
But then reality hits and we fly to Los Angeles.
And then Philadelphia. Then we get the Texans. We can win that game.
I will be at that game against the Eagles.
Oh yeah?
And well, I mean the Eagles Stadium with traffic is like a 25-minute drive from my house.
That's nothing.
So yeah. So I have to go. Like
absolutely, yeah.
Every 8 years, once every 8 years, they're going to be 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So I have to go.
Did you go to the last one when I think it was Foles and Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin just proceeded to have an air show? And
so when they were, I think that was 2013 or 14. No, that was Blake Bortles' rookie year. That was 14.
Okay.
I was actually away in college.
Oh.
So yeah, I did not go to that one.
Are Philly fans as bad as people talk about? because that was like, I want to go to this game, but I don't want to deal with just people harassing me and berating me the entire game, especially if we're going to lose.
So, story time, I guess, because I have been to the Eagle Stadium for a game against the Jaguars, but it was in the preseason.
Okay.
The preseason. And mind you, I'm probably like a 13, 14-year-old little boy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wearing a Jaguars t-shirt. And I'm super excited to see David Garrard and Maurice Jones-Drew in person.
Absolutely.
And I get out of the car with my uncle, and we weren't even out of like the gated area for the parking lot. And I will never forget this. These two grown men in this huge black pickup truck, they pulled up next to me. They rolled down their window, and a guy leaned out of the window and said, "The Jaguars suck, and so do you," just like that. And then they peeled off. I was a little kid, and I turned and looked at my uncle, and he was just like, "Oh, I guess they told you."
Yeah. These guys.
Yeah. So little 14, 13-year-old Jersey Jaguar. That was my experience with Eagle fans.
Oh, joy.
The one time. But yeah, I mean, so like my whole family is Eagle fans, and they're like, I mean, they're probably more on the tame side, but like actually like in Philly, Eagle fans. Yeah, I mean, I told a buddy of mine at work, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to that game. And he's like, are you actually going to wear like Jaguar stuff?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. And he was like, really? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not going to not wear Jaguar stuff.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? Just wear all black and not just sit there?
But I mean, at the same time, like, I mean, it's an out of conference opponent. Like, what are they really going to say?
Yeah.
Whatever. But I mean, I fully expect something. And kind of like, the thing about that is like, well, if I go in there, because Eagle tickets are very pricey, like upper, like nosebleed seats, yeah, are like triple what Jaguar tickets are. Yeah, they're very pricey. So it's like, I'm going to spend all of this money, and like we go and we get butt whooped by Jalen Hurts. And then like I get to get laughed at by 60,000 people walking out. But then it's like, what happens in the event if they win? And then it's like, am I going to get stabbed walking to my car?
Yeah, it's time to make a business decision and just take the jersey off and walk to the car.
Pretty much, yeah. But I'm looking forward to that. And then the next game they play Houston, right?
Yep, at home against Houston.
Yeah, they need to split with the Texans.
Absolutely.
This year. They need to at least split with them. It's ridiculous that they haven't beat them since 2017. I mean, Deshaun Watson hasn't even played for them, which is last year. And it's just ridiculous that they haven't beat them. They got to pick up at least one win against them.
I just can't get over this just massive. I mean, how big of a just murderer's row the Jaguars have to go through. They have to go through the Broncos in London, Raiders at home, at Kansas City. They get the bye week. Then they host the Ravens. They play the Lions. Then they're and then they're in Nashville, and then they're back at home against the Cowboys. That is just, I feel like, a murderer's row of, if you thought you had a chance at doing anything, that just streak of teams is there to make sure you go like 2-5 and tank whatever thoughts you had of making the playoffs.
I mean, probably. Yeah.
Just Super Bowl champions and Pro Bowl players and playoff teams, and Dan Campbell, who's probably going to bite Doug Peterson's kneecaps off. And just,
I need a picture of that. I need an image of that.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be provided. Someone on Twitter will make you a beautiful graphic of Dan Campbell attacking some poor coach's kneecaps.
Like, the thing with that Lions game, like, a lot of fans are like, oh yeah, we can win that, with her saying the same thing about us. And like, the thing about that game is like, the worst thing that could happen is Trevon Walker's either hurt and not playing, or like does nothing in that game, and Aiden Hutchinson is just like in Trevor's face the whole game. Like with that game, that's the biggest like thing that worries me, because that's just such a Jaguar thing to happen. Like, Aiden Hutchinson just wrecks our game plan, and Javon Walker's nowhere to be found, but we'll see. And then the Thursday nighter against the Jets. That's weird.
It is.
Like, I would think that they would do that last year with them both being rookies, like the first and second, overall pick going head to head on Thursday night. But I feel like it doesn't have the same appeal.
No, it doesn't. But unfortunately, apparently Zoom has made time caps on their video meetings. So we are about out of time. Where can Jaguar fans find you on social media?
At just JerseyJaguar.
Perfect. All
on
right.
Twitter.
I'm going to put all of his social media links down below in the description. Be sure to check them out. Be sure to subscribe to both our channels. We got a lot of great stuff coming up in the off season. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe. Go Jaguars. And in Doug Peterson, we trust.
How about them Jags?
Come on, Joe! Ah! Thank you, baby! Thank you! You're making blood come from my damn mouth!
Duval!